If you've ever woken up on a Friday morning and been ready to immediately start the weekend, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. We are back. Happy Friday, TGIF. Another episode of live trading is upon us. I got my main man 13 in the back. We're going to look for some more trades to make and money to extract from this market ahead of the weekend. Let's get it rolling.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, folks. Hello and welcome back. I am your host, Ryan Faluna, and I am, of course, here with my main man, 13. 13, how you doing here today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited for the weekend. How about you?
Yeah, I am definitely excited for the weekend. I'm normally always excited for the weekend. I can't wait to hold my wine glass like some sort of sorcerer and perform sorcery. So it should be fun. But we have an entire market day to get through first. So are you ready for that?
Oh, yeah. Bring it on.
Okay. Lynn's just going to throw some salt in the wound right here. The Predators won. Awesome. The Hawks got smoked. Absolutely rolled by the Colorado Avalanche. But it's actually okay. It was, I watched hockey all night last night. So pretty happy about that. Okay. How did 13 get the name 13 under par? No, he is the 13th.
Yes.
If he was shooting 13 under par, that'd be incredible.
I mean, I don't think that could do that. I think it'd probably be 13 over par, if anything.
I was going to say that even wouldn't be so bad. Really quickly right here. The first thing that we're going to take a look at here is snow. We did get one of those closes above the 200-day. No, we were day trading this yesterday. Ended up working out, ended up flushing some of the stops, but then going back higher. However, we did get one of those closes here. I do kind of want to wait this out. I want to see if there's any weakness here. I want to see if maybe this rolls back over. It's possible that we get that straight V bounce up. I might miss this if that's the case, or have to take it in smaller size if that's the case. But remember, still waiting for those three closes above the 200-day. Trying to be as patient as possible here with snow. We talked about that as a potential long side swing trade yesterday. All right, taking a look here at the SPY, we are about what? Let me take a look here. Let's see. We are unchanged. It look a little bit lower in the futures, but for the most part, unchanged here. I guess we're 12 cents or whatever under the closing price yesterday. And in any case, SPY, we'll see where we end up going here today. Does feel a little bit heavy. The one thing that I want to note today, 13, is how's the volume going to hold up? We've seen the volume tell different stories on different sessions here this week, from being very low to then being above the average volume. I really want to see what the volume's like here today. You have anything on the SPY before we move into some actual targets?
I've been looking at the SPY trading out of a rising wedge recently, and it hasn't traded back into it. So to me, it thinks that we could see a bit more of this topping out. But I think the big thing right now is what happened with NYCB yesterday that could lead to another issue for regional banks if the market picks up on this and thinks that we're still in some trouble here. And that could throw a whole monkey wrench into the Fed's rate cut plan as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. As far as the volume goes, I think what the market's been doing lately is kind of waiting on the big economic news. Mm-hmm. You'll notice that on Tuesday and Wednesday, we didn't really get very much volume. We were at under 50 million on Tuesday, 56 million on the SPY on Wednesday. And then yesterday, when we got PCE, we went over the average and got up to almost 84 million. So this market seems to be just kind of holding off for the news. And the next big piece of news that I think it's going to be holding out for is to see if we pass that the government funding, and then we'll have the jobs report on the 8th. I don't think other than that, maybe there's some election news in between there. But those are the two big next things that I think the market's going to be looking towards.
Yeah, indeed. And you're absolutely right about that being data dependent. Here's the chart that you were referring to in terms of that wedge that we want to go back into. Don't forget, we actually had Fed's Mester yesterday giving some what I thought were fairly dovish comments on the market. Of course, we traded up into the close. yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see if we hold any of that, if we move anything, if we move higher from here, or if we just simply break down on the SPY. But we'll be watching all of that. Like I had said earlier, the big thing that I'm going to be paying attention to is the volume. I want to see how we actually trade here. But let's take a look at some individual names. Let me flip over to my movers tool here. Up. How about that? Oh, there we go. Okay. First one here, and I see the chat already mentioning it. It's going to be ticker BIVI. This is ticker BIVI. Good morning, Paul. BIVI here. We actually, huge impulse move, took us right above 4. We did retrace about 50% of that stick, but we're doing a good job holding the VWAP. We reclaimed the VWAP. We kind of bounced back and forth. Now it looks like we tried to build above. And even when we broke down, we still haven't broke through that VWAP to the downside. Now, we did have a catalyst here on BIVI this morning. BioV's NE3107 demonstrates potential improvements in motor and non-motor symptoms for Parkinson's disease patients, and maybe realigning physiological processes for Alzheimer's patients, and data to be presented at the International Conference on Alzheimer's and Parkinson's Disease 2024. So for any of you that have followed Alzheimer's or Parkinson's treatments or therapeutics or really anything related to these two terrible diseases, you know that these will often move stocks. There's a big bottom line here. This will often create a huge move in the stock, and that's exactly what we're seeing here today. Now, is this actually going to lead to a treatment for Alzheimer's or Parkinson's? I don't know that yet, but it's giving us an opportunity here today. BIVI trading up 150% here in the pre-market, and actually giving us some pretty good action too. If this action maintains into the open, we should actually have some pretty good opportunities to trade this, and you might be able to trade this to both sides here. Do you have anything on BIVI that we should cover, 13?
So that conference that they're referring to, where they're going to present their drug results, is on March 5th to 9th in Portugal. So that's next week, and you could see some additional movement from this. Maybe more sell the news movement, probably, but just wanted to throw those dates out there. This company has almost 16.5 million shares in the float. Short interest, not really that big, 6.29% short interest, but they do have 6.6 days to cover. There's also a pretty sizable gap that it's in the process of filling. If you want to go to a daily chart and back out a bit, you can see from late November, that there was a large gap that we're currently in the process of filling. So we could probably go all the way up to the top there, and then I don't know what's going to happen afterwards.
And this gap fills right around that $5 level. I think, let's see, we've got the actual low print here, $4.95, but that's close enough to just call it 5. So will be interesting to see if this gap gets filled on this piece of news here. Again, this thing already active here, on average trades 536,000 shares. We're almost at 21.5 million here this morning. So definitely going to be action in BIVI. That is your ticker here. So we will keep an eye on that. All right, let's take a look at another one. This one is an oldie but a goodie. We've had several trades on ADL. Remember, we did some exclusive news on this stock earlier this week. Got some good trades off of that. Here we are ramping again in the pre-market, and we're actually seeing some back and forth movement on this already. Big impulse move took us all the way up to about 418. We retraced 50% of that stick right back down to 280. Now we've reclaimed the VWAP. All of this done on some pretty good volume. If we take a look at the news here, I don't see anything fresh. So if you guys have anything fresh, let me know. But again, I don't see anything fresh here. This looks like this just might be some trading action based on some of the news prints that we had earlier this week. ADIL has been good to us. It's been very, very liquid. You can see here on this 1 minute chart, we're actually making another move up. I definitely have a level here at the pre-market high at 418. One of the other things to keep in mind here, the last time that we really traded up out of in the pre-market, we ripped right out of the gate. Yesterday, we were kind of muted in the pre-market, and we ripped right out of the gate. Well, today, we're actually trading up into the open. It'll be interesting to see if this kind of bucks the trend and trades back down. I'll be looking for entry around VWAP on ADIL. Do you have anything else on ADIL, 13?
Well, the news that initially started this run was from a patent that was back on Wednesday. I think that was the exclusive you're referring to, and that was regarding opioid and alcohol treatments for disorders. So that's pretty big news, I think, if this drug works pretty well. Now, their float is 1.55 million. They did have a 1 for 25 reverse split last August, and other than that, that's the only thing I could really find that's potentially moving this is the really low float and the old news.
Okay, EKS bringing us some news here. This is what we absolutely love about our community here. EKS, I cannot thank you enough. Adiel Pharmaceuticals, maybe Pharmaceuticals here has recently been upgraded to a Zacks rank number 2 buy, indicating growing optimism about the company's earnings prospects. AD04 is genetically targeted serotonin 3 receptor antagonist therapeutic agent for alcohol use disorder in heavy drinking patients. That's what you were just touching on there, 13. So there you go. Appreciate that. EKS, love our community helping us out here already. Okay, that gives us 2 targets so far here today. NXU, this is going to be another one here. This is ticker NXU, company is NXU. NXU shares trading higher if the company successfully charged a Cybertruck. Maybe I'm missing something here. You guys are going to have to help me out with this one. Why on earth is this driving the stock up 60%?
Because it has a 2.84 million share float, and they did a 1-for-150 reverse split on December 27th.
Okay.
Other than that, they charged a Cybertruck.
They charged a Cybertruck, baby. Breaking news. We should probably put this on a banner or something. Of course, I'm just kidding. Jay,
what's Elon X saying on X about it? You know,
I have no idea. Jay saying chatter that Mullen is buying FSR. Hey, maybe they ought to look into NXU here. Am I right, Jay? This looks like maybe another one of those charging names.
We were wondering who was going to pick up FSR. Is it Mullen? That'd be great.
I judging by his emoji, I think that he's joking. We'll look into that in a sec. I was just trying to relate it to what I think might be another kind of a junky EV charging name. We'll see if that ends up panning out. What I will say here in terms of an actual trade, this thing ripped yesterday in the after hours. Hello, office assistant. Ripped yesterday in the after hours and again here in the pre-market. Now we have retraced 50% of that move, but we're doing a good job holding this 120 level. So if this is something that's going to be a trade, I would use that as the downside, maybe even 115 if you don't want to get flushed out of that, which we've seen recently in some of these names. But I'm just kind of laughing because this catalyst is meh. It doesn't seem all that great.
Maybe if they charge Biden's batteries, it'll go to $10. But anyway, sorry,
Oh, that was cold-blooded, Joe. I absolutely love it, though. Real quick, Ken is mentioning that NXU also recent NASDAQ compliance regain. So it looks like this is really kind of coming from the depths. Be careful with this one.
Yeah, that was the reason, I think, for the reverse split, so that they could regain
so that they could regain compliance. That's exactly right. One of the old ones is back. Mini Me is back.
There
Ticker MINM. This actually popped in the after hours yesterday. Did a fairly decent job holding in the pre-market, but then actually took another leg up on volume here in the pre-market. We've actually retraced all of that move. We fell beneath 6. That's got me a little bit worried here. I don't see any fresh news for this one either. Looks like yesterday night we had a Form 13D, so maybe this is driving it here.
That's it.
That's it. So there's your catalyst here. Thank you, Benzinga Pro, for giving us that news there. We'll see if this ends up holding up. We've seen this one before. We traded this before. This was wild, right? Lots of pops, lots of drops. This is definitely one of those stocks where if you get gains, don't be afraid to take them. You'll likely have an opportunity to rebuy if you want to keep trading it. Jay Summers, I know you've been in and out of a whole bunch of these names. Wouldn't be surprised if you hit MINM. Oh, never mind. Jay Summers is already in and out of Bivy. He doesn't even need Mini Me. He's got Bivy already. Love to see that you're living up to that. So, okay, good stuff there. MTC, this is another one here. This popped earlier. It's really kind of come back in, but it hasn't been breaking down. Again, no news here. Don't see much on MTC. Anyone else have anything on this one?
This might be moving on the China or Asian markets momentum. I don't have any other news on this. Has a rather large float, 198 million shares. So I'm not quite sure what's pushing this. Maybe somebody else has picked something up that I didn't see. But I think this is maybe just moving along with some of the Asian markets. That's the only thing I could find, really.
Okay. Well, you know what? We'll keep an eye on that. We'll get some more data when the market actually opens, see what the volume is doing there. Next stock on the list is Dell, And oh my goodness, we talked about this one yesterday in happy hour as they were reporting their earnings right after the bell. Dell Technology shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results and announced an increase in its annual cash dividend. Also, Evercore, ISI, and Bernstein raised their respective price targets on the stock. That actually happened this morning here. So Dell getting a bevy of good news here today. UBS maintains a buy, raises the price target to 113. We're already at 122. Evercore, which I had just mentioned there, raises the price or maintains outperform, I beg your pardon, and raises the price target to 125. We're only 3 points away there. Bernstein maintains their outperform and raises the price target to 120. We're already over that. So the one thing to keep in mind here is that the earnings catalyst and the chart formation and the trading action that we're getting here in the pre-market, very conducive to a gap and go. But with this already being at some of the price targets and really kind of just running pretty much all pre-market, I'd be a little weary of that. Maybe a pullback to the VWAP, maybe use your 9 EMA on this one. Potential gap and go here on Dell, but it's really, really run quite a bit. I mean, we're up 30% here already. So how much more are you going to get out of that? The interesting thing here is that if you were to compare this to ticker HPE, which is, of course, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, they reported earnings yesterday. Stock actually selling off here. So this stock lower here. Hewlett Packard Enterprise shares are trading lower after the company reported worse than expected Q1 revenue results and issued Q2 guidance and FY24 EPS guidance below estimates. That seems to be the death blow for some of these stocks. Also, multiple firms lowered their respective price targets. So Dell winning, HP not winning. That's really the story there. You add anything else on Dell?
Well, when it comes to Dell and HPE, it looks like of course, Dell is the better run company, but they're also really pushing out the AI server enterprise packages in a much more meaningful way than HP is. So I think that's something really important to watch. And I know that was it Jay that just brought, Jay is very IBM is very Dell-like. I agree with that, and I think they have a much better run company when it comes to the AI server rollout as well. So IBM and Dell, I think they're really knocking it out of the park when it comes to that the rollout of those new products. And HPE is just not doing it, not getting it done.
Yeah, it's. I think I agree with all of that. Jay, all of that stuff. We've been discussing this quite a bit. IBM also one of the OG AI plays. Yeah. Definitely more of a value name than some of these other names. So clearly it's working there for Dell. It's clearly working for IBM, and it's not really working for Hewlett Packard. So that's the takeaway there. I do like these, by the way. I really like that IBM, after its last move up, has actually pulled back to that 180 and held it. To me, that's actually really encouraging for a potential another up move on the backs of this AI theme. We'll see if we end up getting it, but just kind of looking right there. All right, next one on the list here is going to be the Real. This is ticker REAL. We've seen this stock pop quite a bit here. It looks like we popped in the after hours, came back in the pre-market, popped right up to the exact same level yesterday. This stock, of course, reported earnings after the close yesterday. We had a beat on the top and the bottom line. EPS was a loss of 7 cents versus an 11-cent estimate. Sales are 143.37 million versus 142.343 million estimate, beg your pardon. So beat on both the top and the bottom there. Looks like quarter one here, the guide is fairly in line, right? So we've got 135 to 145. The estimate was 143. Surprised, I guess, to really see this kind of holding up with the guidance being somewhat in line. Fiscal year guidance looks like maybe this is at the high end of the range. Maybe that's what's keeping it up here. But in any case, we've traded this one before. We've actually seen this pop off the scanner. It's very liquid. If it gives us a good setup around some of these key levels, could be a really good trade here today. Not a company I really have experience with in the real world, but definitely one that should give us some opportunities here today.
Yeah, they got a price target of $6 by Needham. They're outlining their path to profitability. So there's some short interest in this as well. So that could be a squeezing a bit. The float is 95 million shares, so it's not one of those low floats that gets pushed around easily. I think they're just kind of banking on and pushing this up on the prospect of it becoming profitable, and that it's got a good future ahead of it. I don't think anything else really is moving it.
Okay. Next here, I saw a number of you guys mentioning ENVB. This is obviously a holdover from yesterday. Let's see. I think there are a couple of people in here that were trading this one. Jonathan, ENVB pushing up, needs more volume. I think there was a couple other mentions of ENVB earlier. DS, good morning, by the way, mentioning ENVB. Okay, ENVB looks like this is going to be in play here again today. It's nice to see this pop. Obviously, we're nowhere near the ranges that we traded yesterday. If we take a look at the volume pop that we did get here this morning, it's almost nothing compared to the volume that we saw yesterday. So we're really going to need to see an expansion of that volume to have a similar type of move here today. The big move yesterday on ENVB was after it bottomed here. As soon as that volume expanded and we ran through the VWAP, which I consider a key level, this thing really kind of took off. This is the same recipe that we're going to be looking at or we're going to be looking for here today. Do we get it? Yet to be seen, but that's kind of what I'm looking for here. It looks like we're getting a nice little pullback to the VWAP. It's all going to be about the volume here. It's all going to be about the volume on ENVB. You got anything else on this?
Nope, just setting some levels on it. I don't remember if I traded this yesterday or not.
Okay.
But, yeah, the big one for me was SIDU. That was awesome.
How about JL? I know we
that was fun to watch.
I mean, look, we talked yesterday about this one having some really kind of stupid news. It didn't feel good. It felt really risky. Kudos to us for not even checking back in on this, because maybe we would have enticed people to try and play this for a bounce. This thing just got absolutely wrecked yesterday, down 84%, closing on the lows. I mean, I guess we're trading up here today. This, for me, is just an absolute no touch. Just don't even bother with this.
There's got to be something going on internally with this company to have it fall so much. And they just announced a $6 million special dividend, which, I don't really see the reason for them doing that. But there's something else going on with this company that I don't have the information on. But to go from where it was yesterday down to, less than $2, there's something else internally going on with that company. I've seen this same chart before with Luckin Coffee. If anybody remembers that one, you know what was going on with that.
I do remember that.
Yeah. This seems like another Luckin Coffee. They should probably change their ticker to JS for J Short Group. Sorry, I'm full of it.
Yeah, dude, look, it's Friday. We're saucy and serious. I love it. I mean, I love it. We're out here trying to find some different things. I absolutely love the entertainment. I'm just going to leave it at this. I'm staying away from this. We got plenty of other things to take a look at here. We're just going to straight up stay away from this one. Is there any, I guess, NVTS, this popping here, looks like this is semiconductor stock. Looks like they reported earnings yesterday. Okay. So the 40-cent loss beats the 50-cent loss estimate, 26 million in sales versus the 25.5 estimate. So it looks like we're trading up here a little bit. NVTS. BBLG, that was a pop and drop. Fubo, here we go with Fubo. They're trading higher after the company reported earnings, so maybe some good earnings there on Fubo.
Oh, Snap wants us to talk about Plug, so it'll go down.
Okay, let's do that. All right, here's Plug, already down 9.5% here. Plug Power shares are trading lower after the company reported worse than expected earnings. For me, the curious thing here will be, does this actually bounce? Looks like this was, big miss here. EPS 230 loss versus a 161 loss estimate. 891 in sales versus 900 million estimate in sales. So they missed by about 9 million in sales. Plug, we talked about the potential hydrogen play and as an alternative to EVs and green energy and this and that. I don't think we're anywhere really close to that, to be quite honest with you. We talked a lot about this being kind of already ready for industrial applications. Yeah. I don't know how much that's going to mean for the actual stock here. One of the things I will say is that I've actually traded Plug over the course of a number of years, and it does give pretty good liquidity. So as far as a trading vehicle goes, this is okay. The story, maybe not so much.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much lower this goes, but if they're saying that they don't see any more going concern issue, then they might be finding a bottom at some point here. I mean, and they should, since it's it's close to $3. So there's not a whole lot more downside to go. But they could always try to raise more cash and dilute shares. So yeah, this will probably be just one I wait on, because I do think that we are going to use hydrogen more in the future, but I just couldn't tell you when that's going to happen.
And I think given what we've seen from Plug, when we start doing that, some of these PRs are going to cause that stock to move around. So even if the company is a pretender and doesn't end up working, there might still be some opportunities to play that. We'll keep our eye on the news flow. Less than 30 seconds, in fact, 15 seconds until the market opens here. It is almost showtime. You know what? I'm going to highlight showtime comments anytime. Patrick Kane is a Chicago legend, even if he plays in Detroit right now. So showtime, baby. Let's go.
All right. What are you looking at the open here?
I've got binned in here. I'm basically going to look at the scanner and see what jumps on here. And then when we figure out some targets, I'm going to flip over to my trade the pool broker to actually trade them. While you're keeping an eye on the opening print, perfect time to remind you that the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool, the best prop firm out there. Huge pool of stocks to trade from. Can very easily help you get over that 25K threshold if that's something that you're struggling with, or if you just need more, get up to 260K buying power with Trade the Pool. They join us. They're awesome guys. We love them. And we do like the broker as well.
Looks like Bibby's trying, but they can't get above
Jay
325. And it's
Jay, man. The come on comment has got me here. Come on, dude. We were basically just explaining how it was garbage. We literally just spent time explaining that. Like, come on, dude. You can't give it back to us. Of course, Plug's garbage, but it still makes for a decent trading vehicle.
And it might not be the hydrogen play either. There might be some other companies out there, but that's why I want to wait and see what happens with the whole hydrogen space. As Mark was pointing out, there are major car companies developing hydrogen vehicles, but you know that I still think we're a little bit early to be talking about hydrogen vehicles and mass on the road.
Yeah, I agree with that. Bivy here, right at the VWAP, by the way.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way, Snow, big move right out of the gate there. Big move right out of the gate. I want that to come back in and give me a better entry on that hold of the 200-day. We'll see if we do that. Bivy flirting with that VWAP here, actually moving lower. We'll wait for this to settle out here.
Yeah, I think Bibby needs to get above 325 in order to get go higher.
And Ryan needs to get the right scene up here. Here is Bivy.
Is SMCI going again?
I was going to say, Lynn saying, my goodness, SMCI, let's take a look at that. And there's another power move right out of the gate. This thing closed yesterday right around what? Got this closing around 866, up another almost 30 handles here today.
Sally Stone saying, PRA crushed earnings, 60% short float. That's interesting.
ENVB making a move towards that pre-market high. OPRA, was that the ticker 13?
Yeah, Opera.
Here you go.
I thought this was Oprah, and I know she crushed Weight Watchers earnings. So,
I mean, there's just so much in there. So much in there. She's going the GLP route.
Yes, she is. Okay, so OPRA also got a buy rating, a price target raised to 25. Oh wow, okay, that is a pretty large short interest, but the days to cover is 4.7, so not as difficult for them to cover.
NXU looks like that first move was down. It tried to bounce back to the VWAP. I don't trust this one, but this one trading here. How did ENVB do? ENVB breaking higher here now. Let's see. Yesterday's intraday highs, we actually are above that too. I had that at 187. Looks like that. Let me back out here and see if there was. Yeah, there was. There was a higher one on the intraday high yesterday. I got that at 289. We'll see if we get back up there. We just took out this rejection area from yesterday. Looks like 205, probably your next one there.
Yep, I agree with that. It's the next one I have too is 205. Okay,
the NVB looks like a couple of you guys are hooking that one. Miles, good morning. Hi, good morning. Jay mentioning Rambus on the buyback. That's ticker RMBS. If I can resolve that chart here. See if I can resolve. There we go. Actually, this is into a gap, isn't it, Jay? Let me take a look at this one here real fast. Yeah, so let me show you this. This actually pretty... Jay, great call on this one. This is actually pretty interesting here. Some really good earnings. That's out of the way here. Stock up 4%. Looks like we've got a potential gap here from 62.5 that fills at 68.5 or thereabouts. So 6-point gap in here. It'd be interesting to see if this can get filled here. Good mention on this one. Good mention on this one.
I'm just taking a look at this OPRA.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I mean, if the market notices this and sees that $25 price target, could get a lift. So let's send some levels in case it does.
Good morning, Kalu. Great to see you this morning. Great to see all of you this morning. Not just one of you here. ADIL looks like this is moving here off that $3 level that we outlined in the pre-market.
Okay. All right, so if this holds this 315 area, it probably has a good chance of getting back up to 420 area where it was the pre-market. Is Root finally coming down to earth?
Root, yeah, it's coming back down. That has been. Let me tell you something. 13. Let me pull up Root here. I straight up, we talked about this. I didn't buy this. This thing went ballistic. And yesterday, you were mentioning this to me. You're like, oh my God, what is going on here?
Yeah.
There we go. Sorry about it. Must have been clicking on the wrong thing here. Look at this move. This thing is absolutely vertical. This is a triple.
Yep. And there goes ADIL.
I mean, my God, on Root. Any of you guys that have this one, let me know. This was a monster move. Bivy being mentioned here. Okay, it looks like a dip. Let's see if it can reclaim that VWAP.
I'd like to see Bibby keep going down a little bit and maybe hit 230 and reverse there. That or maybe as low as 2. I think that would be better for upside in this. I don't know that this area really is going to hold it. I'd be wrong though, but we'll see.
We'll see. Real quickly here, Luis Tovar asking, can I ask what screener you are using? I mean,
yes,
if you're going to ask that politely, of course I'm going to tell you. And I'll even go one step further and I'll tell you what I'm screening for. How about that, Luis? We are using Benzinga Pro. That is what you see here on the screen. This is not a broker. It is a supplemental newswire that also has things like scanners in them. And the tool that I'm using to generate some of these ideas that we're talking about is the scanner tool. Now, this scanner tool runs on an intraday relative volume filter. All right, so it's looking at the current 5-minute window and it is comparing the volume to the 30-day average of the same 5-minute window. So it doesn't matter if you're looking at it at 10 in the morning, 9 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, doesn't matter. The other thing we're filtering here is for an up move and also for liquidity to make sure we don't get trapped in some stock that's not trading enough volume. So great question. We are using an intraday relative volume scanner for the purpose of identifying day trading stocks. Hope that answers your question. Let me know if you have any follow-ups. Go ahead.
It looks like Soundhound's being mentioned here because it sold off in pre-market and yesterday as well. And it seems to have found a bottom at about 555. If we trade up here and start closing over 630, this could probably get going again back into the 7s.
Okay, and here you go. This does look like this is kind of rounded off that pre-market bottom, and the volume actually looks pretty decent here, 13. That could help us get above that 630 level. 630, 635, maybe right in there?
Yeah, I have the 200 EMA on my 5-minute chart right at 630. So,
gotcha.
It went right up there and turned around. So that's kind of why I'm thinking this is an important level. And if we can start closing above that, then I think that we'll get the strength we need to keep pushing it up. But that's just what I'm watching right now. Just looking at some of the other ones too. Looks like ADIL is still wanting to go back up to 420.
And it looks like Real here is pushing away from the VWAP towards its intraday highs here. Here is ADIL. Looks like that's trying to do the same thing. Some size here at 360 if that gets popped.
Yep.
Luis, you're very welcome. K-Chat, Ryan, what's the link to the B scanner tool? So there's not necessarily a link, right? The web address is pro.benzinga.com. The scanner is part of the pro offering. So there's not necessarily just a link to the scanner tool, although you might be able to find some lightweight scanners on benzinga.com. Let me know, K-Chat, if you've ever used Pro. If you haven't, let's get you a trial spun up here. It won't cost you anything, and there's no obligation. So you can at least try it and see if it helps you first. Okay, back to ADIL here. Looks like this is going higher. Took out that 360, moved 4 cents higher, and then yanked. Now it's going higher, so we cleared that seller out of the way. Also seeing that Fastly trading down to a 14 handle here. Let's see if that bounces.
Yeah, it's looking like ADIL is wanting to take that 420 handle there.
Man, I'm looking around at the market here and lots of stuff pulling. And in fact, I'm noticing that Rambus, which Jay just talked about, ticker RMBS, bucking that trend completely. That trading up here to the highs. Apple was pulling back off its highs. Wind down. Tesla just pounding the lows. Let me bring up Tesla here. See if we get a buy spot here on Tesla. Maybe this 198 level, about 90 cents away. What do we have here from yesterday? 198.5 yesterday.
We're getting really close to that target in ADIL. Looking good. I think we just need to get over 4 here. Getting so close. We got over 4 a little bit, actually. Got up to 407, 408.
All right, let me go back to ADIL. Lynn and Randy, if you guys are watching Tesla, holla at me if this thing reverses here. I'm going to try to keep an eye on one of my other charts here, but I'm going to be flipping around quite a bit. I think you're right, 13. I think a 4 move here coming on ADIL.
Yeah, that 420 level, I think, is where we're going to probably get a bit of price rejection, but I don't think this will be done. I think that we could even actually break through that, to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see what happens here. But this thing does have some pretty good strength.
K-Chat, just go ahead and shoot me an email there, and I'll make sure you get set up with a trial that will not cost you anything at the outset, and we'll make sure we get it on the account that you want and all of that. So just shoot me an email. We'll take care of that for you here today. No big deal.
Maybe keep an eye on OCEA. If this gets enough volume, it could break 2, and I don't know how high it'll go up, but keep an eye on that one. Yeah, definitely.
Bex has mentioned this OCEA several times here this week. This has actually been pretty decent. You can see yesterday we actually had multiple moves in it. The day before was a little rough, but the day before that we had multiple moves. So last 3 out of 4 days here, OCEA has given us some trades. K-Chat, I just threw it there in the chat. Ryan Faluna at benzinga.com.
VTYX might be making a move here. It's pretty low volume, but there's a nice pattern set up here. So, maybe put this on your radar just in case.
Yeah, and we got a gap here too, right? We're in a gap fill up to about 14 on VTYX.
Yeah, just not very good volume. Chart.
Yeah, and this goes back, by the way, to November of 2023.
Yeah. Looks like Bivy is actually starting to head lower. So I still think that maybe between 210 to 230 seems to be like a good potential bounce spot. So keep that in mind for BIVI. And just looking around, seeing what's happening. Looks like
ENVB looks like this might be trying here.
We got Fastly dipping underneath 14.
Yeah, which is okay. Remember, I have a small position on that. You know what? I'm going to try and add maybe a little bit more here.
I've started doing a trading around a core position in Fastly. So because it's been up and down the past several days. So just look at that and be like, okay, well, I'll just play that action.
I'm adding a little bit more here at $13.99 just so I can say I got some under 14. We'll see. I didn't add very much there. It's okay if it continues to trade down here. Okay, real quick, man, the guys.
ADIL is almost going to do it. It's almost going to do it. And it's almost there.
Let me flip over. God, we got a lot that we're watching right now. NXU possibly mentioned here. ADIL, this looks like I've got size here at 410 on ADIL. Look for that to get taken out. NXU here maybe coming off the bottom. That's a good spot there. Wiss and Kalu all over that one. Let's see if ADIL it looks like it did. It took all that size at 410. See nice. A little bit more here, 415, 418, 420. So there's some size above here. Watch for this entire area and see if this gets taken out here.
It did get up to the pre-market high of 418 before it started to retreat a bit here. This doesn't look like it's done though. Maybe we get a pullback here, but watch for it to hold VWAP.
Adel, yeah, that's really nice move there, by the way. And look, that VWAP here is at 359. So if you're playing from the VWAP here, I don't look. We traded right up to a resistance area. As far as trading strategy goes here, if you're buying anywhere near the VWAP, doesn't even have to be on that exact price, but anywhere near the VWAP, it is prudent that you're at least paying yourself on this resistance test here. Maybe you don't want to get rid of all of it because you think it's going to break and run and you want to have some exposure. Okay, I get it. But this was a nice, fast power move right to a resistance area that is choice for pulling some off right there.
Yeah,
Rambus keeps making new highs there. That stock definitely strong here today.
Of Rambus?
RMBS. Not the first time that Jay's mentioned that one either. We've talked about this one here before. Out of sight, out of mind for me. Big move here today.
This holds these levels. It's probably going higher. I mean, we're about to get an EMA crossing VWAP here in a matter of minutes. So
we saw tech kind of selling back off. Didn't really affect snow all that much. That's still doing a good job holding above that 200-day on the daily. Would love to see that. TGTX, remember what a massive winner that was. This back to 18 here today. We closed out of the last leg of this trade yesterday. Every leg that we sold, multiple points. I think I did 5 total sales in this stock, all of them multi-point gains. So just a massive, massive swing trade win, TGTX. Jay, I know we talked about this one quite a bit. This personally, for me, very, very rewarding because I actually took it on the chin with TGTX options several earnings quarters ago as I held them through earnings, got a 50% haircut on the equity. It was a nightmare. So this one really, really felt good to be able to make that back. Played it perfectly this time.
Yeah, Coke is getting mentioned COCH by several folks. Miles just mentioned it again, and I agree with his statement. It's a good move out of the gate, but it does need volume because it does have a pretty nice bullish flagging pattern here, either a pennant or it looks more like a pennant. But if we can get some volume, then we could take this. It could take this thing higher. So that's another thing to watch here with this one, COCH.
At TSHA, this is Tasha. I think we've traded this one before. This is a gene therapies company. This nice little move out of the gate. This too, I think, needs a little bit more volume, 13, but nice little move back to the VWAP here. 455 seems to be the upside spot. 451, where the most volume has traded today.
Okay, ADIL is coming back down to VWAP. So this is looking good. If we can hold VWAP, then it's probably it's going to set up for the next push up to 420.
Richard is asking here, can you guys tell us why NYCB got halted? So let me do that here real quick. I'll show it to you in Pro. Benzinga Pro is going to give you this stuff. Right here in the signals tool that's reporting halts, you can see that halted at 9:43, trading halt, reason not available. Now, in my experience, when this says reason not available, a lot of the times it's because it's a circuit breaker. When I look at the actual stock price here, that is almost certainly what happened. We had a move from 336 to 356 in a heartbeat on volume. That is probably what halted it here. If there is more news, it should be mentioned in the news feed. I don't see that being the case. Piper Sandler downgraded. Company reiterates that previously announced material weakness are not expected to impact full FY23 financial results to be included in Form 10K. Okay, so what they said yesterday is that they were going to be late on filing their report, right? Yeah. And now they're saying that it's not going to have an expected impact on the financial results. Maybe that's why it popped here.
Yeah, just overselling possibly on that news from yesterday.
Yeah, so Richard, I think that this is going to resume what time? 9:45. I think this is going to resume at 9:55. That would be my best guess based on the information that we have right now. Let me go back to trade the pool. We'll take a look here. TSHA looks like this didn't move. You guys are mentioning ADIL.
Yeah, that had a huge knife. So went
okay,
right
so we knifed through the VWAP. Okay. How's Bibby doing?
Yeah, the next level for ADIL is going to be about 315 if we need to hold. So then Bibby.
David Lynn, appreciate this. I didn't have my squawk on. Let me see if I can track that down for you. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, he might have put that in the day trading channel.
Yeah.
I don't see it. Oh, no. Somebody else may have.
Yeah, I think that this is probably news that's going around here. I think it's the same news I just read you, guys.
Looks like Bivy found a bottom. It's trying to push back up. That was pretty close to the area I was looking for of about 230. It actually found a bottom around 245.
Mark hit it for 24 cents. We're going to give Mark a register ring. Mark, good morning. Great job. Nice job on a Friday here. CRDF. That always reminds me of Cardiff, which interestingly enough is where the Running Man dance was invented in the 80s. I digress. CRDF trading up towards the highs here. We'll see if yesterday's after hours highs get tested. I've got that at 264. Lynn and Randy living up to what I asked you to do. Entry here at Tesla 198.77. Tesla looks like it's bouncing now. Let's check in on that trade. Oh, almost back to 200. Looks like you got your full dollar already. Looking for one more here, huh, Lynn? Awesome job on that. And I like how you waited for that to confirm the bottom. You didn't just catch the knife, right? Gives you a little bit more, makes it a little bit easier to actually play that. Kalu mentioning NXU. That drew the office assistant back in here. NXU, nice move to its VWAP and through. We'll see if that builds and goes higher.
Yeah, ENVB had a knife as well. OPRA, it's trying to curl, but I'm not convinced of recovery yet. It still needs to get back up to VWAP. RMBS is kind of holding around their VWAP, but volume doesn't look great. Had to go and look and make sure we were still on the stream. It got all quiet all of a sudden.
Yeah, sorry. I was reading some other stuff off screen here. It's totally my fault. I apologize for that.
No worries.
Just making sure that everything is okay. Oh, that's not what I meant to do.
You know what's interesting is Viking Therapeutics is still on the rise a bit here this morning.
That's VKTX, right? You're testing me there with the tickers.
Yeah.
That's to pass, baby. Let's go. That is. And actually, this coming out of the consolidation area in the regular session as well.
Oh, nice job, Richard.
Let's see. Where is Richard? Was trading NYCB the last time that we traded this. So what happened? Did this open and halt again? No, this is open. Yeah, NYCB open right here. So this came right back down to the VWAP currently at 350. I've got VWAP at 352. Let's see if NYCB makes a move back here. Checking on ADL. Maybe that's curling off the bottom. They did bring in a bid here at 330 on ADL.
Yeah, it's down to that support level that I was talking about. So should see a reversal here. If not, then the next level down I have is about 275.
COCH being called by Smoke Tuna here. This holding right at the VWAP. This big spread here. Big spread. 30-cent spread. Looks like TGTX ramping here. God, this was such a good trade. This was such a good trade. Rambus off those highs here, but still maintaining its strength. That's great to see.
Looks like Zim's starting to do its thing where it, chose a direction out of the gate and then reversed.
Oh, shoot. Silly me. That was beneath 12. I probably should have added a little bit there. I got such a small position here. I should have added on that. Well, we'll see if that. Let me know. Chat, let me know if this dips below 12 here.
Yeah, you might get some resistance at about 12.13. So we'll see if that materializes.
Richard, nice job on that pin action on those scalps there. Great stuff. Great stuff. Sydney mentioning that Vanny is coming back. Good morning, Sydney. It's great to see you again as well. Let's take a look.
They just had an offering, didn't they?
Actually, you know what? Right out of the gate, it did start to trade up a little bit, but it's right back to the VWAP. Low volume now. If volume comes in here, Vanny might get going again. Yeah, TGTX. So what do you think, Jay? Let's talk. I don't think we talk a lot about this. So we've already had a successful trade in this. Maybe there's some more room to run here. You got the analyst backing going this morning, as you just mentioned. What are you thinking here in terms of a trade? Maybe a pullback towards one of those moving averages? What do I've got? What do I have that at here? 17? A pullback towards 17 to hold that 200-day on TGTX. What are you thinking in terms of an entry for another trade, keeping in mind that we actually already booked gains on the first leg of this trade? ICU being mentioned by Bex here.
RMBS is still holding VWAP. Might start to move up here after this candle closes.
SOUN. This actually now the one thing so looking at SOUN here, I could totally see a curl and pop towards 650, maybe even 7 if it really gets going. The one thing that I notice here is that the volume has consistently dried up since we opened. I'd love to see that change. My bird, he is hysterical.
Bivy might get going here.
Crush Peach saying, which is the best service for day trading? I'm not sure what service you're asking about, so I'm just going to give you my blanket answer. Benzinga is the best. Duh. Looks like the market is kind of trading lower here. Dow coming up off the lows. NASDAQ near the lows, although that's been kind of a slow decline. MACD crossing on Bivy. Okay, Jay, I love this. I love this. Not saying it's another VKTX because we've all seen what's going on with those semaglutides there, but it can easily go to 40 or 50. That would pretty much only be a double, maybe a little bit more from where it's at right now. So I keep some on and trade around a core. So, okay, so this is a really good strategy. There are actually some traders that we have in happy hour that do the very same thing. Joe, you often trade around your core.
Yeah.
On a lot of these. So this is a really good piece of advice here. I think one of the things that I might do is actually start building a position when this comes into support, maybe take an option or two using some of the profits that I've already booked and roll them out into the fall in case this thing, we wake up and it's 40 one day, at least those options will pay out. That's a really good call there. Feels jank though, Bivy. All right, so are we trading back down on that? Yeah, it looks like this is really running into some resistance at that VWAP there.
Yeah. Okay, just kind of looking around. Looks like Root's wanting to go higher. All right, and there's that move I was talking about with OCEA.
Okay. Yeah, I got to start taking a look at some of these. I want to do some trading here. Root, God, this thing is this is a monster, dude. This looks like this actually wants to go higher here.
Yeah, I tried trading some of that yesterday and, it succeeded, but it was so spready. I decided not to do it after.
I'm looking at it now. It's ridiculous. Let's see. We got a 60-cent spread on this stock right now.
I've only seen that with Hollow recently.
Sure glad we got out of AI. Yeah, but you know what? Not before you guys were trading that back and forth, right? It's all about timing. You can trade a piece of junk. Jay says it all the time. You can be wrong, but you can't stay wrong.
Look at DTYX. This one's just, slowly going higher.
So which one? VTYX?
Yeah.
That thing's ripping. Root still going higher here. Mark's asking you, 13, why do you have a Bivy entry at 232? Is that because of a fib level?
No, that's a level from looking left. And that's just it's not an entry. You could use it as an entry, but it's just a level of where I was seeing support or resistance from previous trading.
Market movers here. Thank you, 13. Market movers here asking me about Pan W. Let's talk about Pan W. So thoughts on it. So first of all, I love this stock, right? Recently just absolutely crushed this trade just overnight from Friday to Monday. It ended up moving quite a bit more. We actually bounced from the 200-day to the 50-day. This is exactly what I want to see on PanW. I would love to see this kind of come back in, find some more support at one of these levels. And guess what, market movers? I'm taking it again. And I got probably taken in the same size. It wasn't terribly big, but it ended up making a pretty good chunk of change because it moved 25 points. Now, if we can find some more support at one of these moving averages, maybe get a couple of closes above that moving average, very much like we did before, and what we're waiting for here on Snow, I think there's another trade coming in PanW. I'm going to be patient on this one. We already hit this for a gain recently. No sense in mucking that up. We'll be patient and wait for our entry.
All right.
Looks like Crow is taking Beach Bums, probably out of respect here. Crow, I absolutely love it. CRDF. Let me go back to Trade the Pool. We can take a look at that one here. We literally have the best community out there. It's so awesome. Smash that like. Thanks, bro. You got it, market movers. Appreciate that, my man. Appreciate that. Oh my God. I did this again where I tried to type in CRDF and it loaded up CR. Here we go on CRDF. This actually really needs to test this top end here. This is where it stopped in the pre-market as well. Got that at 274. I have the high print here at 273, some size in there at 275.
Soundhound now at the make or break level with the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. If it gets through here, then it looks like it'll go higher, but it might, I'm thinking it could reject.
I'm thinking you're exactly right here. This is the spot that we were looking for earlier, 13. And look, we did get one of those sticks in there, pop the volume, but it didn't hold.
Yep.
It didn't hold. I've got that high print at 629 on Sound. Here comes a pullback on Sound.
I think Coke is trying to push its way through VWAP, might make a move. RMBS is going higher.
That dip got bought.
Yeah.
That dip got bought. Jay is just trimming. Jay's at this point booking gains right there. I don't think that there are new trades coming here on Rambus. This is just gain booking.
He's barber of the day, man, trimming it up.
Barber of the day. We got Jay Scissorhands over here.
Oh man,
trimming up his positions. I love it. I love it.
Scissorhands. Woo-hoo.
Woo. SOUN looking like this is going to try and break here. A little bit of size here at 625.
OCEA went up to 205. Coming back in now. Root blasted off to 36.45, probably on a $1 spread.
Probably. I'll tell you what, those spreads make it so difficult. Spreads make it so difficult. Sound here. This looking like this wants to go to the top end here on Sound. SOUN. The volume is actually starting to pick up too. I would say watch for a knife on SOUN here. 625. Actually, they just moved some size here. I see some on the bid here at 630 as well. SOUN. See if that can get rolling here.
I don't know.
Yeah, Tuna's saying that when you're dealing with those spreads there, find a price you like and then set a limit order. That has worked before. That's actually not a bad way to attack that. My strategy is to look for where the volume is, frankly, but that's not a bad strategy if you're going to force that. I shouldn't even say force that if you're just going to trade that.
Coke really looks like it. If it gets the volume, it's just going to push up into the highs it made earlier. RMBS really starting to get going here.
Let me mute this. We got Santelli screaming about something right now. Here we go on Sound. Are we going for these highs here, guys? Sound, I've got the high print there, 629. We'll see if 629 gets taken here. Some size right here, some more size there at 630 on Sound. CRDF moving here. Okay, let me take sound off here then real quick. Let's take a look at CRDF. Looks like this yanked back to the VWAP here. Take care, Richard. We'll see you again, my man. Great stuff here on a Friday. Smash up that like on your way out, please.
Oh, man, Zim is working really well. Not to rub it in. I'm sorry.
No. You're good. You're totally good. I look, that's the thing about having a small position. CAUD being mentioned here. Pop on volume. Sound might be trying to go higher here on sound.
VTYX coming back in a little bit to VWAP. So if it holds this area where VWAP is, probably get set up for the next move up. But that's if it holds.
A lot of stocks pulling back here, except for Rambus. To RMBS continuing to push highs here. Jay, great. This is a great one. MYO being mentioned by multiple people in the chat here. This actually pretty spread out as this continues to push up here. Myomo. Sound at that 629 level we just talked about, folks.
That's where it needs to.
That's where it needs to go. There it goes, right through 634 here. They didn't yank this back either on SOUN.
Nope, they didn't.
If you were in this trade, I would definitely pay yourself now, with at least with some of it.
Yeah, it's got to get a lot more volume to get to that 639 level.
Indeed, we're currently stopped here at 635. Here we go.
That'll be a big move if it gets through that.
There it is, right up at that 639. God, this was a great one. This was a great one. What's going on with it? Okay. I'm gonna look around here and see if I can find some other entries. Rambus just keeps going. Apple at the lows, by the way. We talked a lot about Apple recently this week. We talked about that 180 level being very key for Apple here. It lost it here today. Let's see if we can get a close beneath 180. Apple currently pounding the lows here, 178.
Looks like ADIL is trying to push back up to VWAP. Might not get very far.
Megan! I don't know what I did, but that was fun. Let's see. Did I miss a chat from her? Sound 629. Oh, that's what it was about. That's what it was about. We did it. We got to that level. We actually took that level out here. 638, your high print, by the way, on sound. I told you we were going to have fun on Friday. I told you at the outset we were going to have fun on Friday. You told us too.
I'm just looking around for some good setups here. It looks like things want to set up to go down.
MTC might be getting the tuna setup. Oop, and just when I said that, they knifed it right back down. But look at this. All right, so we were kind of curling back up. Looks like our MACD histogram is trying to go positive. The signal lines have kind of bottomed out here. Maybe the weakness is over here in MTC. I did just see this get sold back down, so maybe we'll keep an eye on this one. Move back up to the VWAP. Might get it rolling. I made you cash out early. Well, I'm sorry about that, but inevitably you're going to control the buy and sell of all of those.
Looks like HIMS might be getting ready to go.
Big spot here on SOUN. They took it. There it goes, 642. So
I was wrong about that one.
644, your high here on sound. They're reloading that 640 area with stock for sale, and it's getting bought. Oh, nope. They brought it back down again. Lots of volume being traded around this 638 to 640 level on SOUN. It's all right, Megan. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. We'll get another entry here. And if you're ever worried about that, right? If you ever trade up into a resistance level and you're like, is it going to get rejected or is it going to break? Peel some of it off. Book some of those gains. That way, if it comes back in, you're not actually losing as much of your unrealized gains and you already have some profit set aside. That's how I would attack some of those moves. 644 up here on sound. And through. Stopped right at 645, so 1 penny above. I got to think that at some point this is going to get a pullback. That might give us entry on SOUN. Let's take a look at ENVB. That right at the VWAP. You're asking about NNDM, Nano Dimensions. I don't know much about this one. We've traded this one, I think, off of like scanner plays, but I don't have a long-term view on this one. Would appreciate any due diligence that the group has on this, if you have it.
I thought this was more of a 3D printing name.
That's what I thought too.
They 3D print. They 3D print like circuit boards or some electronics components of that nature.
Provider of intelligent machines for the fabrication of additively manufactured electronics, AME, high fidelity active electronics and electromechanical subassemblies are integral enablers of autonomous intelligent drones, cars, satellites, smartphones, and in vivo medical devices.
And ENVB, it looks like it's getting going here, but also with NMDM. I thought they were also trying to acquire Stratasys. Wasn't that one of the things they were doing?
Was that another one?
There was them, and I think Desktop Metals or
DM. I think
they were all trying to acquire Stratasys.
Systems.
They were all trying to.
Stratasys has the tech everyone wants. That's why. Yep. That you're exactly right. Stratasys likely to again reject Nano Dimensions' latest offer. I'll tell you what. Look what that did for Nano Dimensions. I mean, that stock much lower. Stratasys hasn't actually been great. That's still holding a 12.5 handle here.
Oh, Jonathan, thanks for pointing that out. That's good to watch with DWAC. Alternatively, also watch PHUN to move as well if DWAC moves.
Is DWAC moving right now?
He's just pointing out news about Trump winning the votes.
Oh, got it. Okay, so no movement yet in DWAC, but you're right. That when you start to get news on some of that stuff, this is the ticker to look at. PHUN also related to it.
Fastly up above 14 again.
Okay, that was a good ad. Bivy here, maybe putting in a bottom and moving through its VWAP here. We don't have the smoke tuna confirmation yet, I don't think. Snow is moving. I guess I'm not surprised to see that. But you know what, though? This is actually pretty good, right? We're not like ripping up. Like, I'd love for this to kind of consolidate here above that 200-day, give us entry on Monday. I'd feel a lot better about that.
RMBS has just been the slow grinder up, so that one's looking pretty good.
I love this seasonality or statistic or whatever you want to call this. For your information, every Friday since October 31st last year has been green. Every one except for one. I think we might be on deck here for another green day today, Jay.
Looking around here.
So am I. I'm going to go back to my scanner in Pro. I'm going to roll through. You know what? We'll do it together. I'll just do this and we'll roll through it together. Real. We talked about that one earlier. Look for 240 on Real. I'm actually going to pull that up here in my broker. That one's big volume pop there too.
Still think ADIL is probably going to end up coming down to the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, which is at 282 right now. It's probably going to end up being higher by the time it touches it. But that's if it doesn't hold this 315 area.
I see NVIDIA call sweeps. Yeah. Some NVIDIA call sweeps here. Rambus continuing to push high 64.5 now on Rambus. Wow.
Yeah.
Meta call sweeps now. Real stopping right here. MTC going, you guys are mentioning. Let's take a look at MTC. I don't see it on my scanner here, but I'll pull it up nonetheless.
I don't see it going.
Yeah, I don't see it going yet. I see it just kind of curling off that 150.
Looks like Cardiff is trying to get back above VWAP. Volume's not looking great on this one either.
Look at JagX, a major move from 6 cents to 8 cents. Lol. ENVB pushed right up to that intraday high and stopped there on ENVB. Here's Cardiff. This actually has a pretty good PR on Cardiff. 240, by the way, on Real right here.
Keep seeing the mentions on MTC.
Look at Jumia. Look at Jay's Jumia here. This thing ripping again. Boy, Jay, I should have followed you into this one. I feel like your first buy on this was in the 4s or the 3s or something like that. Yeah, probably the 3s, maybe even the 2s. What a move on Jumia. This is supposedly the Amazon of Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
I was going to say, wasn't that at one point like, $100 or something, or something much higher than where it is right now?
Pan-African e-commerce platform. This was much higher in the past. Yeah, it looks like we didn't quite get to 100. We got to 69. Nice.
Just looking around, folks, seeing what there is.
Reals through that level didn't really pop and go though. Just kind of took that level out. Decent volume here, but not really moving. So okay, sitting on that. Let me go back to trade the pool here real quick. Here is Snow. God, I would love for this to just kind of hold in here. That would be so great. ADIL. Let's keep an eye on this one. As long as this doesn't break down, this story isn't over here. ADIL.
Yeah, I still think it's going under 3, but I've been wrong already once today, so I might be wrong here too. I think there's not enough volume in it right now, but VTYX looks like it could try to move its way back up to the 850 area. It's trying, just really slow.
Stay focused. Appreciate this mention. Good morning, by the way, my man. Feds, Logan, and Waller about to get on the horn. I actually just looked up. I see Austin Goolsby talking right now. Chicago Fed president. Only guy I know to spell Austin with an A-N instead of an I-N, but here we are.
And what are they directing everybody towards now? Because they've been telling everybody to watch the economic reports, especially they were saying on Wednesday, hey, we're going to base our policy based on what these economic reports say. We get PCE, and it's in line with their year-end projection for 2024. So of course the market's like taking that as a positive.
Look at SMCI real quick here. Megan mentioning SMCI is so manipulated. What the heck? Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. We actually had this discussion. 13, was this yesterday or was it the day before? Regardless, we had a discussion about the market being every day. You're right. The market being manipulated to the point where it's just, it's very, very obvious. The concentration of all these stocks. SMCI, absolutely one of those that fits in there. You're not the only person that feels that way. I would say that when it comes to some of these, if you don't have a feel on how it's moving, just don't trade it, especially if you feel like it's being controlled by somebody else.
Looks like
market manipulation is part of the game, says Smoke Tuna. Indeed. I'm sorry for running you over. 13.
All right. Looks like OPRA is trying to get going back up to 15 here.
Swinging VKTX. Let's go, Sydney. OCEA upside.
Yeah, it's still trying to push higher.
Yeah, it sure is. High. It's trying to break that top end of the range. You guys are on it.
Looks like VTYX is gonna start to make a move, and I see Smoke Tuna's mentioning Coke as well. That one's also got a nice setup here too. Having trouble getting above 535. There's a good amount of shares there in the way, so get through that. Might okay. Well, it might just do it right now. Just gotta wait and see.
Jay, I gotta think that you are smiling from ear to ear with your Rambus trade here today. Are you going to be celebrating this monster trade here with a round of golf? 2 quarters in a row that the earnings dip got bought hard. Let me know if you got to be celebrating in some way. This is a monster. This was a monster.
Speaking of monsters, roots in the 36 handle now.
We talked about that one earlier today.
Oh, it's a silly stock.
It is indeed. Oh, Pan W. Yes. Let's break 300. Come back. Come to Papa Pan W. Let's go, dude. Let's go. I love this. Jay Summers, as Kenny Glick, as the Warlock is fond of saying, stocks are manipulated to go up and rigged to go down. I love that quote. I love it. CRDF breaking below its VWAP now. How's NXU doing? We were taking a look at that earlier. NXU beneath its VWAP.
Yeah, that one's going down. Looks like RMBS is finally starting to get a pull up after reaching 64.90.
Jay, you're going to get a one up here. Best to be humble. If I wanted to brag, I'd be selling shit on Twitter. Indeed, dude. Indeed. Well, I'll tell you what. We'll take your humbleness in here anytime, my man. Great trade.
Looks like Zim's trying to move up to make the next break over 12.15.
He's still getting rejected here at its VWAP. Here's Zim.
Yeah, we got the 200 EMA on the 5-minute in the way, but because that's what rejected it initially here when it got up to 12.15. So now we're making another trip up here. It's going to try to break through that. Let's see if that's what we get.
This OCEA is still holding up here. Actually got a decent daily chart here as well. Think 210, certainly that spot here from today. What's this other one here? 216? Yeah, it looks like this might be 216, your next spot. What are we at? What else do we have here? Go ahead.
BTYX still slowly making its way up. And ADIL just been sideways for a while now. It might just do one of those things that some of these other ones were doing yesterday where it just goes sideways, pops, comes back into where it was going sideways, and just keeps doing that for the whole day. New highs en route. No surprise there.
CRDF, that was a nice move through that VWAP right there. Here it goes.
And we're going to get 37? Not quite yet. But it wants it.
I'll tell you what, if stocks have any type of momentum or catalyst in them, maybe they're moving right now, but otherwise, we're just getting some dips and some fades here in a lot of names. Real, not one of them, by the way. 241, that looks like that's going to take out the highs there at 242.
Maybe we get a turnaround in some of these.
Yeah, your happy singing lured the cat in. It's so funny. Sometimes in the morning he sings to himself, like he looks at his mirror and he's just kind of happy and bouncing around and he's just singing. He's just being a bird, being a happy bird, and that seems to lure the cat in. And the bird looks at the cat and starts singing more, almost like he's antagonizing him. Anyway, fun to watch. ADIL being mentioned here. Let's take a look at ADIL. See if that can actually take out the VWAP there. Will saying Apple to buy Rivian. I don't know. I would wait for them to be cheaper, wouldn't you? They're losing so much money.
Yeah, that's just kind of one of the things we've been talking about. Is Apple going to end up buying a car company now? And if it is, who's it going to be? Is it going to be one of these car companies that's having a really hard time, like Fisker, or is it going to be some other name that we never thought they would go after?
So Fisker, so interestingly enough here, Fisker broke lower here. So there, here's where some of that was coming from. Let's see if I can find this here. Yeah, so really quickly here, the catalyst on Fisker driving it lower. Fisker shares are trading lower after the company reported worse than expected Q4 financial results. Also, the company said that it expects to conclude that there is substantial doubt about its ability to continue as a going concern when its annual financial statements are filed with the SEC. Not good. We did see This is from Friday. This news was yesterday. Here. Fisker said the company expects. Oh, nope. That's what I just read. Fisker also noted that it is in negotiations with a large automaker for a potential transaction, which could include an investment in Fisker, joint development, or one or more EV platforms and North American manufacturing. So this line here you would tend to believe that there might be an automaker purchasing on it. Now they're saying a large automaker. I would not throw Apple into that category. To me, this is more of like a Stellantis, GM, Ford type thing. But that's what's going on here in Fisker. Sorry, I was just kind of reading some news.
And where are they located? In California, right? Or
which one?
Fisker?
Fisker? I think so. Visit company homepage.
Because that's what they were going. The market they were going for. It was out there. They had the car called the Ocean, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right here.
So ADIL popped to its VWAP. This might finally get going out of this consolidation here.
This is Alaska, but that can't. Oh, that's the name of their car, the Alaska car. Duh.
Oh, thanks for that, Ray. That I haven't listened to one of those, but if you're telling me it was that bad, then that's saves me some time.
So there you go. This is awesome. What did you say yesterday, that they were taking questions from retail guys or something like that?
I don't think I said that.
No, not you. Ray.
Gotcha.
Ray. Yeah, founded in California. Yes, you were correct on that. So that took me too long to look up there, frankly.
So I guess you'd probably take a look at who's operating in California, who's trying to get a market presence in California that wants to take over Fisker. That'd be a starting point for me.
Yeah, that
looks like Coke is about ready to.
All right, let me bring that
move.
up here. Let's get back to trading here.
Let's get back to trading. Let's do that.
Look, part of trading is actually doing some research on the fly. So things like that happen all the time, even when I'm not on screen here. I try to hold it, but
SPY broke the high.
Google short printing. Nice call there on that one. You said SPY at the highs here. Indeed.
SPY new highs.
Dow, NASDAQ, the entire market here at the highs.
Wow. But let's see if that's what happens at the end of the day. We might pull. Okay. Looks like OPRA is trying to get above VWAP again.
Indeed.
Looks like it wants to try to go for 15. Just doesn't have the volume, unfortunately.
Maybe Rivian looking at Fisker. Rick, that would be something else, man. A company losing $1.25 billion looking at another company that's about to go bankrupt. That would be something. That would be something.
It make me laugh just as much as the Warner Brothers Paramount deal. Two companies that constantly lose money. Looks like ADIL really wants to get over VWAP. It's trying.
I don't see any new setups, by the way. Maybe this ADIL if it can get rolling.
Maybe with I mentioned this one yesterday because they were squeezing Rocket Mortgage, RKT.
RKT? That trade's thick though, doesn't it? I mean, I feel
it
like
is, yeah. It's just that when it was squeezing yesterday, it was really easy to point out where that squeeze level was. As soon as it broke 1250, you got 17 cents, easy. But this one doesn't move very fast, so It's
Oh,
just
I've
one of
got
those.
all kinds of. Wow. I must have done some charting on ADIL in the past. I've got all kinds of lines right now in my broker.
Nice.
And we're like, it's like obeying them. Like I had a high print line here at 417. We stopped at 419.
I love it when that works out.
I love it when that works out, dude. That is awesome.
Looks like ADIL is setting up to go higher here, trying to take that 420 level again.
Okay, so hopefully we're trimming off this. What area was this? 330, 340.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see if Oprah finally makes its way up to 15. It's kind of slow moving, but it looks like it wants to get over VWAP pretty badly right now. Looks like Micron got a buy rating and it's in a price target raise.
Okay, Micron having a good day as well. Look, we might get 100 prints on Micron here pretty soon. By the way, Apple's still pounding the lows here. Still pounding the lows here on Apple.
Yeah, you know, I like Apple at a certain level, just not up here. I think that the car announcement just kind of like it angered some folks that were invested in this because they wanted to see something new and you know, great out of Apple. I don't think the headset was really a big hit, you know. So
yeah,
they,
I mean, look, call me old fashioned, call me, you know, a tech nerd. You'd be right on both of them. I'm telling you, the new MacBook is out of control. Now I know this isn't a new product. This is just a rehashed product that they have before. But it is so good and it is so much better than anything that it competes with that for me, it's like, I know people want to see stuff new, like a new invention, like a new category, like the watch or the, you know, what the iPhone was when it first came out. But there's something to be said for being able to continually execute and create the best in class product. And they're absolutely doing that with the MacBook right now. Take care of yourself, Mark.
Docu pushing higher ahead of earnings next week. Well, I mean, aren't they still in talks to get acquired?
Yeah, Smoke Tuna. This is it. This is. I recently just got a MacBook Pro M3 Max, the big boy. There is so much. I've thrown everything at it, and it does not even care. I've not heard the fans turn on one time. Looks like Sally also got the M3 Max version. It's amazing. I'm telling you, it is amazing. And you guys know me. You guys have heard me before. I am not an iPhone fan. I still think I'm winning using a Samsung phone with a MacBook laptop. I know that's hard for people to believe, but that's where we're at. Adil, looks like Adil's getting some more mention. So yeah,
going down,
going back down to VO. So just to kind of finish that up on Apple, like I'd be careful. Like you're not wrong that they're not really not innovating and not coming up with new products, but I would caution to say that that's the death blow of the company. There's still a lot of good things going on there.
Yeah. Sorry, bud.
No, I was just going to say, Smoke Tuna saying I've been telling Mitch at all times to get a Mac. Mitch ain't doing that. And Mitch also sticks to his desktop more than he uses a laptop. And I would never have a Mac as a desktop either. I mean, you couldn't hang if you had hooks on your wrist with my PC desktop.
I'm not a big laptop person in general. I mean,
yeah,
my phone does so much these days. It's pretty much what I use for my mobility.
There you go.
I've tried to, carry around I had a Chromebook too, and that was fine for doing little stuff. But
you brought that to the office. That was in the Benzinga office. We used that. I remember that. I remember that. Life W moving here. LIFW. We've traded this one here before. Wow, big move on volume. Life W. Voodoo. Good morning. Cleared 1 point on a Z-scaler scalp. Okay, nice job here on Z-scaler.
Don't look now, but Root's almost a 39. I thought this thing was about to be done. Nope, we're going higher. At some point, I'm just going to have to just plug my nose and just buy it and just let it do its thing.
This Root, man, this thing's crazy. Adil really kind of coming back in. And actually on that spike, it went right to 382, which is a level that I had. That's crazy. That's crazy. And you know what? I don't think I set those levels. This was probably back in September of last year. I think this was at either the beginning or the end of September last year that I drew all these levels, and all of them are in play today. That's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
We need a new shirt that says levels matter.
Oh.
What's everybody trading right now?
Yeah, what is everybody trading right now? Pan W broke beneath 300. I'll take it. Let's go. Let's see where this settles. Come on in. Come to Papa. Settle somewhere. We'll buy this again. Pan W still best in breed. Tesla moving towards the lows here right now. Maybe we get another bounce off that bottom. We had that at what? 198.5. Lyft. Monica's mentioning Lyft. Lyft right here at the highs. I don't see a new catalyst here, but actually, did we kind of come back in and maybe hold this? Maybe we do curl back up here on Lyft. Held that 1550 area.
Look at Tesla on a 1 hour chart. It's interesting how this 198.50 level has been kind of the support for the past several days. If we break down beneath that, I think that we might see it shoot down to about the 200 EMA on the 1 hour chart and bounce. That would be an interesting.
What value do you have for that EMA? I don't have those EMAs.
197.20. So it'd be like you could get like maybe a dollar or two off that bounce.
Okay, so you're looking for a breakdown here of this 198.20 and then maybe take us to the low 197s.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that's on a 1 hour chart. So this could
Yep, that's this one right up here. Yep.
So, but this I'm just looking at the chart and I'm seeing how that's been a pretty significant level that the prices get snatched up on and to go higher. But like we've observed, every time that this a level gets constantly attacked like this one is, eventually it's going to give in. We just saw that happen with Apple. 180, constantly getting attacked for several days. And now finally it gave away.
Yeah, CRDF. You guys are talking about CRDF. We'll take a look at that. That is popping back up to this resistance area here. So let's see if we can take this out here. I've got that at 266, maybe 265. Taking a look at the ladder here, we do have some size here at 265, a little bit more at 270. Your intraday high here was 273 so far. So 265 might be that spot. CRDF.
Yeah, Apple looks like it's going lower.
Sure does.
Like I think it's going like under 170 lower.
Today?
No,
or just in
today.
general? Yeah.
In general, I think we're headed that direction.
My office assistant just asked for a raise. Yeah, he's mad that he's not getting one. He's oh, that's funny.
Looks like OPRA is making another attempt to get out of VWAP here. I think with the amount of times that it's trying to push out of VWAP, it may end up getting it.
Volume just really low on this one. That's all. SOUN pushing to new highs. Oh, man. Megan's going to come club me over the head with her billy club.
Looking for Tesla to test triple top. Let me look at Tesla again and see what you're talking about here. Is that on a daily chart or what time frame are we talking?
I can bring Tesla up here.
I just wasn't sure what time frame he was looking at.
Yeah, I don't see a triple top in here. I guess maybe if you're looking at these candles right in here, but that's to me is Voodoo. Let's talk about this. I'm watching Pan W as well. Has a lot of air back down to 260. Indeed. Only reason I took Z-Scaler's scalp bounce was the first day of bad news. Okay, so let's take a look at Pan W because I'm in a complete agreement with you, Voodoo. And like I said, I may, this first bounce play that was very successful. I know we had news about Pelosi buying calls and this, that, and the other thing. Maybe that's why. Okay, we'll call that the Pelosi Pan W trade, whatever. Well, let's see where this does. Let's see what this does when this comes back in. You had mentioned air down to 260. I've got the 200-day at 263 and change, 263.67. This was the entire level used for that initial trade. Let's see if we can actually kind of clear some of that out. Even if this stopped at 270, 275, I might even start taking a little bit there. Caesar was saying that was on the daily, by the way, that Tesla triple top on the daily.
I guess he's referring to not today, but the previous 3 days, kind of topping out in around the same area, which is about 205.50 ish. It looks like those are also the days where the price was kind of closing that gap that we made last month. I'm sorry, not last month, January.
I think this is what he's talking about right in here, right? You got one, two. Oh, geez. There you go. Thank you, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Right in here, I think you're talking about 205. This is the bottom of that gap fill, by the way, right in here.
Mm-hmm.
Looking like you've got what? A bottom here, then tops here, then a top here, bottom here. Yes. Okay. There we go. Wisdom
Anyway.
out here short in Pan W just because of our discussion. Let's go, Wisdom. Sally mentioning GCT. Let's take a look at that. I know we've talked about this one before. I didn't trade this one at all. Oh my God, no wonder. GCT has been my favorite ticker this year. Yeah. This thing is nothing but up since the beginning of the year. I can imagine. Good volatility for day and swing trades and trending up since December. Indeed, this has been trending up since last year. Sally, this has been a monster here. He actually looks like you got some opportunities to reload this name as it came back in too.
Looks like Coke is still wanting to break that 535 level, and there's still that size there. I mean, it's just so slow moving, low volume, but it looks like it keeps trying to get over that level. I don't know that it does, but you know, it
just doesn't have the volume to do this.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. It's got the level outlined, but not the volume to move. ENVB broke VWAP. ENVB.
And OPRA now trading above its VWAP. We're about to get an EMA crossing VWAP that could take it a little bit higher, but again with the volume, you know. ENVB is coming up to my VWAP, and
it's literally sitting right at mine. I think I've got mine at 171.
I don't know about ENVB. It's another one of these low volume ones right now.
Yeah, the big thing for me on ENVB, let me see if I have a drawing tool here. So here's what I'm seeing. Like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then this. This to me seems like this wedge that we're forming here today. I have no thought on which way we're going to break out of this. This wedge will not stand. This will break down today. Which way will it break? I don't have the answer to that. Thus, I don't have a trade put on for it. MINM. We're getting multiple mentions for Mini-Me.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at Zscaler that Elon was mentioning. Taking a look and see if I can answer his question.
Mini-Me, this might be trying to close that distance to the VWAP.
Well, at the moment, Zscaler for today looks like it wants to go lower. But if it can get back above, it can get back above 230, then that I'll think otherwise. But it doesn't look like it's going to go up at the moment.
It looks out of favor today.
Yeah,
but that could change. I mean, by Monday. You know, here's COCH. Let's see if we go here.
All right, we're back up to right on that doorstep of 535.
Yeah.
This is the level we need to clear.
I don't feel good about buying this break at all, though. Hollow being mentioned. Oh Lord. Here we go above VWAP here on Hollow. I'll go back to COCH.
Oh, it's back, baby. It's such a funny stock. It's just so much fun to watch. You don't even need to trade it. It's just funny to watch. I'm just looking and waiting for Oprah. to take off. The volume's just not there. I just think that when the setup's pretty good, so it might get the attention, but we'll see. Zim has come back in after hitting 12.15. That's fine. Looks like Rocket slowly making its way up. Not really blasting off like you would think a rocket would.
Mini-Me did go to that VWAP.
Fastly.
Just in time for vodka and some pickle juice. Oh, what are you doing to yourself?
Is that
this was a good call, by the way, on Mini-Me. You guys were on this. That was the exact right timing. Got a nice little move right to that VWAP. This was well done.
Vodka and some pickle juice. Are you punishing yourself?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm like, why on earth would you do that voluntarily?
Did you have a bad trade? Is that how you make sure you don't do it again? I'm just kidding.
SOUN. Indeed, this is looking good.
Oh, geez, Lynn and Randy are so funny.
They love it.
Every time Hollow.
Love it.
Every time Hollow's, they're like, "Hey, Jolo's back." I was like, "Oh man,
Jolo, YOLO, Hollow."
Oh, is Infobird actually trying to make a comeback? I'm not going to touch this one, but it's moving up today. I'm just cycling through some other things.
All right, pretty soon we're going to be getting you over to an all access with Zunaid. Looks like we had a interview here. Producer, are you in the background or not?
Coke did the thing.
Oh, did it? Did it break through? Let's do it.
Slowly moving through. Just, not substantially great or anything, but it did make that break and got up to, what is this? 550. Yeah. So there was 15 cents there, but if the volume comes into this thing and people traders start noticing it, yeah, this thing will probably end up doing much better, but it just needs the attention. That's all it's missing.
Okay. LIFW being mentioned as well. We talked about that one a little bit earlier.
Not too many moves. Yesterday was such a busy morning compared to
it was. Not a whole lot. It really kind of dried up there. I know Amazon getting a mention here. Would love that. Still long that butterfly on Amazon's. Would love to see this hit 180. That'd be great. I think we might get an AB appearance coming here pretty soon. By the way, CRDF, that knifing now going beneath VWAP.
Yep, just noticed
CRDF, that might be done here.
RMBS, it had a little bit of a pullback, and now it's looking like it's trying to go higher here. Take out 65.
Our Mini-Me looks like this is still deciding what it wants to do at its VWAP here.
I like how I'll come up with all these names. Okay, so Mini-Me, this is interesting. I have levels on this one. 622 was the level I just had, and it came right up to about that, 620.
What up, y'all?
There's AB. Thought we were going to be getting you here pretty soon. How you doing, my man? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you as well. Happy Friday to all the viewers out there. Smash the like if you haven't already. Ryan and 13 always doing a great job.
Thank you.
What do you guys been trading today?
Oh,
go ahead.
Been trading a little bit of ADIL, OPRA, BIVI, just some of the morning movers that we were seeing, but not very big trades, not very much action after these morning pops.
Yeah, it
nice.
Didn't have a whole lot. SOUN, you could also add to that list. We did have Jay talking about RMBS. Looks like a huge earnings winner, which really kind of moved here today. So we're pretty much all over the board. What do you got for us?
Ooh, that was a Kenny Glick pick, I think, a Warlock pick. We've got a special Friday treat, 2 all accesses today. I'm going to go ahead and transition right now over to Zunaid and Dr. Lebby from Lightwave Logic. That's ticker LWLG. Let's go ahead and hear what Dr. Lebby has to say.
Welcome, Benzinga Nation, to All Access. My name is Nate Suleiman. I'll be your host today. And if you've been watching the show, you know that what we love to do is to get executives from publicly traded companies on our show so we could ask them the questions of what's going on in the company and see what type of answers we can get. And today we've got a great guest. He's coming back on the show. We love talking to him. It's Dr. Michael Lebby, who is the chairman and CEO of Lightwave Logic. Ticker on the NASDAQ is LWLG. All Access starts right now. Good morning, Doc. How's it going?
Great. How are you? Good to see you again.
It's always great to see you, and I love the conversations we have, especially the cool things your company does. So I appreciate you coming back on the show. For the folks, though, that might just be tuning in for the first time, just give us a quick overview of what is it that your company does.
Lightwave Logic is a company developing electro-optic polymers. So these are polymers that actually switch light, and we use these polymers on the internet to send information or traffic much faster and much lower power. So it's a polymer-based technology. It's very different than the incumbent technology that's out there today. It's faster, lower power. It's very small size, and we develop it in Colorado.
You know, every time I hear like the speed of light and different things like that, I'm always thinking in terms of moon and space travel, which we just had a nice, beautiful landing last week. But it's cool to kind of hear it in the perspective of what you and your company are doing. So let's dive right in. With generative AI, which is picking up steam left, right, and everywhere else you want to look, how do you envision the EO polymers and their role in the future of the internet themselves?
So AI, generative AI has been the subject. Even last week, we saw some record performance from NVIDIA in terms of market cap. I mean, that company that's generating those computational GPU chips, the graphical processor unit chips, I mean, it's doing really well. I mean, I think it's like a 5 times increase over the last 18 months. It's amazing. Now, that makes me think about the bubble. The bubble in 1999, 2000, that's when everybody said the internet was going to take off, and it never really did. And there was a lot of really great valuations. Well, today we're seeing a similar sort of excitement, except today I don't believe it's a bubble. Today we're seeing some of the big data center, social media companies invest in lots of CapEx. That means that they're really investing in upgrading the optical network, upgrading the internet. And why are they doing that? It's because of this AI is generating lots more information. These GPUs are really like working hard. They're sending more traffic, more information that we all want to see, you know, the machine learning. And what that actually does is that really drives the networks to upgrade their performance. So they need faster modulators. These are devices that go in front of lasers. These are devices that we create using electro-optic polymers. They want them to be much lower power. So we actually indirectly benefit from this AI, the generative AI boom that's happening right now. And as I've just indicated, I don't think this is a bubble. I think this is real. I think this is going to continue. And this is really, really exciting. Probably the most exciting thing we've seen in 20 years.
Yeah, I mean, NVIDIA's definitely been on a great run. You know, I was watching in an interview the other day, and someone had mentioned, an analyst, about how people that are in the stock love it. People that aren't in it hate it just because they missed the wave. But you talked about continuing things and not just having it be a bubble. So let me go ahead and talk about any continuing deals that you might have going on, because you signed an initial commercial deal. I think it was May of 2023. And then you stated that you're in discussion with Tier 1 for additional deals as well. Can you speak to the types of conversations you're having today? And more importantly, what firms are most interested in and the value that you can provide them?
So yes, when last time we talked, I did talk about our first deal, a commercial licensing deal for electro-optic polymers, which we inked back in May last year. And we've been in discussions with many different players. And it's not just tier ones. We're doing discussions with startups. We're doing discussions with OEM, original equipment manufacturers, as well as tier ones. And some of the discussions in terms of what are they really looking for? What are they really discussing? Well, there's 2 things. I mean, our business model has both licensing our materials, which is what we did our first a commercial deal last year, as well as selling products. And yes, there's interest in both sides, both the licensing of materials as well as the purchasing of products. So that's really exciting. But to drill down into even more detail, I think when I talked to you last time, I talked about the interest in greater reliability. And that is still on the table and it's still being discussed. And with our lab expansion we had last year, we've really accelerated that. And so that's something that we can really provide good feedback. The other big issue is how do we scale? Because one of the things Lightwave Logic wants to do is to make these electro-optic polymers ubiquitous. We want to make them everywhere, just like you see polymers for OLEDs, organic LEDs. They're everywhere on every screen you look at these days. We want to do the same thing for electro-optic polymers. And so the scale question comes up. And in our 10K, we just announced that in terms of working with the big foundries that we've talked about, we actually have modulators on 200 millimeter wafers. These are 200 millimeter silicon wafers. These are 8 inches across. This is the standard size that foundries use. Now, there are bigger wafers in foundries, but for us, this is a big milestone. This means that we can scale our technology quickly and efficiently in volume. And the last thing that probably mostly from the larger companies we talk to is financial stability. When you're a small company with a brand new platform, a lot of the customers really want to know that you're going to be around for a long time. And if you look at our numbers, and I'm not going to go into the numbers today, we can all see them in the 10K, we're very, very stable. We have a runway till mid-2025. We don't have any debts. So we really manage our company conservatively and very, very stable. And that actually goes down very well with our discussions with potential customers. And it's really exciting. I would say since the last time we talked, the interest has increased. So we're becoming more busy and there was a lot more interest. And this, I think, is really exciting as we go into 2024.
Well, 2 things. I know you said you're having those conversations, but whenever those deals finalize, I'd love for you to come back so we can kind of dive into how not just a deal happened, but how it benefits you and everything else that you're doing. You mentioned about deals and, different things of that nature in your previous answer. Now, one thing I've always believed and heard is how your network is like your net worth. And, the reason that I love talking about networking is because so many deals can happen in these type of places. And I'm talking about an example, the European Conference on Optical Communications that you most recently went on. Do these type of conferences serve as a great networking venue where you're actually in front of these potential customers? Like, do deals, conversations actually happen, and are they beneficial to what you're looking to do?
Absolutely. As you probably already know, I attend a lot of financial and banking conferences as well as a lot of technical conferences. In fact, with 2 technical doctorates, I'm a little bit of a techie. So yes, I do go to these conferences, manage panels, chair different sessions, and interact with the customers. Now, if you think about it just for a second, some of the customers, the data center guys, the optical network guys, the component guys, they have really deep technical teams, and they send representatives to these conferences to check out technologies. And that's what they need to do because they're looking for their differential advantage so they can get a leverage on their competition. So yes, we do engage with customers at these conferences. And in fact, if we think about it, the ECOC one is where we won an award of the hybrid photonic integrated circuit last year. But we're also speaking at Optical Fiber Conference in March. That's called OFC down in San Diego. And there's another international conference, the PIC International in Brussels in Belgium in April. In both those conferences, we engage with the customer community, the technical community for technical discussions as well as business discussions. And in fact, what's really exciting about the one coming up in March, I've given a talk on, I believe the session is called Heterogeneous Integration, which is exactly what our technology does. We're doing a polymer technology with a big 200 millimeter silicon wafer. And so, yes, I'm giving a technical talk at OFC, but the following day, one of the most prestigious sessions at this conference is called the Executive Forum. And I'm actually chairing a panel of CEOs, the biggest CEOs in our field. And I get a chance, just like you're doing today, to ask them the tough questions. What are these guys really looking for? What's really exciting? What's really going to happen? And so, yes, we are engaging not only with the techies, but also the leaders of the community, which is really important if you've got a brand new technology platform.
Well, I mean, I am happy that you get a chance to see what it's like in my seat, because I definitely couldn't do what you're doing on the other side. You talked about you've got San Diego coming up, you've got Brussels coming up as well. Leave me with a little bit more in terms of what catalysts investors should look out for the rest of 2024.
So investors keep reaching out to me, and really the question the investors are asking is commercial progress.
Yeah.
That's really, we started that last year, and we're 100%, 110% focused on making sure we progress commercially in 2024. So you're going to see, obviously, you're going to see technical things like reliability data. You're going to see prototypes. You're going to see demonstrations. These are things that are going to happen in 2024, which is great because this is what the customers want to see. You're going to see a lot more activity on the IP front, the intellectual property front, and the patent front, because people are now realizing we have a great technology. So it's up to us to really be aggressive on that front. And lastly, I think you're going to see us in the community a lot more, being a lot more public. We do get a lot of comments that we're very conservative, we're quite private, and I think we're doing that for the right reasons. We want to make sure we move forward commercially with the right level of expectations. And so to my investor base, which are loyal, and I really appreciate your support, we will be coming out with a lot more information this year. And we are really, really excited as we look towards 2025, and 2024 is looking to be a great year commercially.
I love it. And hey, I'm greedy, so I'd love to have you come back and we can talk to the people through this venue here as well. But thank you so much, Doc. It's always a pleasure to just talk shop and see what you're up to. And I love the fact that you say techies. I might have to use that from here on out.
Thank you, Sinead. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Have a great one. And thank you for always, being with us here. It's so great because we do this for you, the viewers at home. We want to ask executives from publicly traded companies these questions because we're all curious what's going on and what is going to happen in the future as well. But again, I want to give a big thank you to Dr. Michael Lebby, who is the chairman and CEO of Lightwave Logic. Ticker on the NASDAQ is LWLG. And we thank you for watching All Access.
All right. Thank you to Zunaid and Michael Letty again over there at Lightwave Logic. We're going to go ahead and transition to our next All Access. We have Matt Zimberg from Optimus Futures hanging out backstage. Without further ado, let's go ahead and welcome Matt on the stream. Hey, Matt. How's it going? How you doing today?
Aaron, nice. Very, very good. Good to be here as well.
Well, we're lucky to have you. Thanks for taking time out of your busy Friday to join us. Before we hop right into it, Matt, why don't you give us a brief overview of what Optimus Futures does and, what you guys are up to?
Optimus Futures has one goal. The goal is to service self-directed futures traders. So we provide the software and everything else for those who are interested in trading the asset class of futures. We connect to we have our own platform, but we also connect to multiple other platforms, popular ones, for example, such as TradingView and so forth, for people who want to trade it.
Got it. And we have viewers, Matt, that trade all different types of equities and assets. I mean, how do futures differ from other traded assets?
So before I get into that, I just want to have a legal disclaimer because I'm a licensed broker. There's a substantial risk of loss in futures trading, and past performance is not indicative of future results. The futures market is a leverage market. This is where people who usually trade stocks and options find their way into the futures market when they want to increase the leverage. One of the advantages that the futures market presents is that you do not have to have $25,000 in order to day trade, for example, the stock indices, something that I believe is, in my opinion, required in the stock market. So people who want to go long and short on broad indices such as the mini S&P, NASDAQ, and so forth, that's how they eventually find their way to futures. So the futures market is a leverage market. That's where it differs from stocks, for example. It's also a 24-hour market. You're trading global markets. So you're not trading one individual, for example, equity, but you're trading a broad index. And this broad index obviously is trading almost 24 hours around the clock. There's 1 hour break, but for the most part, you can trade it during the day. It is more liquid during the day than the nighttime. However, you can trade this asset class around the clock, and it includes indices and metals and energies and things of that nature.
Got it. I mean, I know you mentioned a few right there, with the futures being leveraged and the trading hours being longer, but are there any other advantages to futures over, stocks and stock options, which a lot of our audience is interested in?
Yeah, so basically, the margin that is required, for example, if you want to short an asset class, you do not have interest payments. The whole business of futures is based on good faith margin that you place out of your account. And essentially, when you close the position, it's given back to you. So I would say that one of the major advantages, again, you're not required to have the $25,000, the ability to short without having to pay high interest rates and so forth that typical equity brokerages charge you. So whether you trade long or short, it's the same margin that allows you to operate.
And then are futures a day trading tool?
Well, if you asked me this question, for example, a few years ago, right, I would say that you can use it both as swing trading, hold it for a few days, and if you have the capital, and day trading. Past the COVID era that brought volatility that we've probably never seen before, I would tell you that today's global market can have such devastating effects that I would advise today our customers to focus on day trading, which means they have to close their positions by 5 o'clock. Now, a lot of people in the futures market also seek, extra leverage above and beyond what futures provide. They want low day trading margins. Some customers have higher appetite for risk, and those customers I would advise to really focus on day trading. I think because the asset class is so highly leveraged and it has such high risk, for me, it's really, really hard it's very hard for the average investor to develop a long-term view and hold that position. So you can do it in equities, for example. You like a company, you like the fundamentals, you like the management. Typically, from what I know, if you don't use any leverage in equities, you cannot lose more than your initial capital. That's not the case with futures. On futures, if you're highly leveraged, you can lose more than your initial investment because of the leverage that's given to you. So I would advise customers with this asset class, to focus on day trading and close their positions before nighttime. There is 1 hour close for the CME between 5 and 6 o'clock Eastern. A lot of things can happen at the time. Also, you cannot manage risk when you sleep. So you can take a long-term position, but during nighttime, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, your time, some sort of a major event can happen, and that could definitely affect your position. So I would say in futures trading, only the time that you actually can be, for a lack of a better term, glued to your monitor, that's the time to trade the futures. The time that you can be in front of the monitor. If you allow yourself 3 hours in front of the monitors, focus on that. If you want to be during equity hours, 9 to 5 o'clock, then do that. That could be your day trading. So day trading, and I want to emphasize something. Day trading doesn't mean that you have to take a lot of positions and trade in and out all the time. You can simply call a day trading session. A day trading session starts typically at 6 p.m. The day of, and it continues to 5 o'clock the next day. So during that time, as long as you're available, that's when you trade.
Got it. I mean, with all that said, Matt, I mean, what type of traders or investors, do you think should be interested in futures trading and pursue this as one of their ways that they're involved in the markets?
So clearly, to trade futures, you I would say, as far as your risk tolerance, you gotta have a high risk tolerance. This is not for everyone. At Optimus Futures, we always tell our customers, if you have very low risk tolerance and fluctuations in your equity, if they cause you some sort of nervousness or things of that nature, you really shouldn't touch it. However, if you have the risk tolerance, you have experience in trading, you understand the volatility in the futures market, that would be one that I would say that's the first criteria to join the futures market. The second thing is, if you find that your asset class doesn't give you all the flexibilities, to trade in the direction that you want. For example, you find that you want to go long and short the indices. Though this is where you should look to diversify into the futures market. Also, I want to mention that you can use the CME has created a product called micros, and this is 1/10 of the regular contract. So you can trade the indices, the micro indices. Very popular ones are the mini S&P, the micro S&P, micro Nasdaq, micro crude, micro gold. All those contracts could be traded for the smaller investor. So again, you got to have high risk tolerance and also the need to diversify into other assets that traditional markets don't give you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I mean, I'm not really that familiar with futures trading. I haven't dabbled in myself, Matt. But if I were to start, I mean, does it matter where you go, or are all platforms pretty much the same? I mean, how much of a role does which platform you're on matter when you're trading futures?
So in my opinion, definitely as far as the asset class, you should start with micros, right?
Okay.
You can trade the minimum number of contracts. So you can clearly start with one contract with something that you're familiar with. For example, if you trade equities and you follow the S&P, you see you could be familiar with the S&P. So first of all, choose the right market. Understand that market, research that market, look back what it did in the past, and again, past performance not indicative of future results, but you should look nevertheless at the history of the asset class and see what kind of volatility, and see, could I trade and could I take advantage of that. Now, as far as the platform does make a difference. There's no platform that will make you a disciplined trader. There's no platform that could instill psychology into the customer's mind. However, the futures market is a very fast market. So it is important to find a platform that you can navigate really fast, meaning that you can buy and sell really fast. And it's easy to use, exactly your positions, exactly the equity, and those, the trade, for example, through the charts, should find a platform that trades through the charts. Those who trade through depth of market, the DOM, which is very popular in futures as well, should find a platform that has a good DOM to execute on. So for me, when somebody is looking at a platform, the most important thing they should look at is their source of reference, which many times is the charts, but also the execution. How is the execution occur? And become familiar with the interface. We have our own platform. It's called Optimus Flow. This is where it's very modern, easy to execute on, easy to navigate on, in my opinion, at least. And I'm a little bit biased because, we're working with programmers on the development of the software. And as time progresses and people come in and they give us feedback, we also improve. So, the best way to develop a software is to listen to your community. I need this, I need this, I need that. For example, we had one customer that said, look, I want a feature that, for example, after 30 seconds, I'm out. Like, I want to specify the time, not a price target, but time. So we developed it into the software. So those kind of things where you listen to your traders, you develop software according to that. So in that regard, it does matter. You want to find a platform that you can easily navigate on, because the last thing you want to do in a fast futures market is start to figure out, where's my position, where do I exit,
Right.
or how much did I make, or how much did I lose. So those kind of things will play a role.
So, Matt, what would you tell someone like me who might be interested in going out there and getting involved in the futures trading? Like, what piece of advice would you give me, and what did you wish that you knew when you first started trading futures?
One of the first things that I tell people is to really become familiar with, and this is basically in trading in general, become familiar with the biases that we have as human beings. Read about the biases, like the recency bias, the confirmation bias, all those things. So what could potentially affect you psychologically as a trader. That's the first thing I would do before even trading anything. Become familiar with that. The next thing is, in regards to futures, I would become familiar with the mechanics of the futures. When do they open? When do they close? What's every point value on every contract? And then develop a method. This is, again, in general, advice. However, I think in futures it's very relevant. In the equities market, you have some room for error because it's cash. So let's say you buy a stock at 200 or 202. In the futures market, you gotta have precise rules. The last thing you want to do in the futures market is rely on your gut feeling. Do not. This is one way to fail. I don't know all the ways to succeed, but I know one way to fail is to rely on your gut. In the futures market, have a method. Whatever it is, have a method to enter, have a method to exit. Stick by those rules. Improve those rules over time. Observe them. Also, this is something we do. We developed our own trading journal for people to track their performance. So the one thing I would tell every futures trader, track your performance. Also write notes beside every trade. At the end, you will see what led to good decisions and bad decisions. You will see what time is good to trade, what time is not good to trade, how many contracts. The last thing I would say also in that regard, size. You must trade size that fits your risk tolerance. You cannot go from trading one micro contract to 20 mini contracts. You have to see how psychologically it affects you as you grow your number of contracts. And if you have to stay at a certain size, stay at a certain size. We can have debates back and forth about what's important, but in my opinion, size really matters.
Size matters. Heard it here first from Matt Zimberg. Again, the CEO of Optimus Futures. We'll drop that link in the chat. Before I let you go, Matt, you got any, I guess, like hot market takes for us or outlook for the next few months? Are you currently bullish, bearish, or do you not really care about that stuff? You're just day trading in and out.
The truth is, I'm not a good market research or analyst.
Okay.
I truly focus on the development of whatever our traders need. I wish I could give you advice to traders. I really don't know. Of course, I have my own portfolio and I have my own opinions that develop, but really, for the most part, that's not my expertise. I just want to say, I know we have a very short time period here. My main goal all the time is listening to our traders. That's the most important thing. We develop everything by listening to our community. And this is our way forward. Listening to them, developing things that they need to accommodate them. I have a lot of respect for traders. At the end of the day, every broker should remember that their earning comes from their customers taking risks. And as my gratitude and thank you for the existence of our company, we put a lot of our resources right back into the company, and it was really awesome being here. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. And I mean, I'm glad. I mean, I like you because you're running the brokerage, being not too distracted by the market moves or reading research and all this, because you're just worried about what your traders need. So that I see that as a very strong suit for your company. So Matt, thank you again for hopping on with us on Benzinga's All-Access. Again, Matt Zimberg, the CEO of Optimus Futures. That link is in the chat if you guys want to go check it out. Matt, enjoy the rest of your Friday and have a great weekend.
Thank you, Aaron. Have a great weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.
Appreciate it. All right, guys. Thank you to everyone who tuned in to live trading and our all access today. A little double feature, a little special treat for the Friday. Please smash the like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. We will have Powerball coming up in a few minutes. That'll be Luke and I coming up soon. So yeah, make sure to stay here. This stream will redirect you to the next one. You do not need to go anywhere.